Educators know that AI can be used to produce educational material and assessments, but its real power is in personalized learning, the ability to tutor students in individual sessions. And that's something educators have been slow to grasp. It's actually quite easy to set up a tutoring system for your class, and you can define the range of knowledge or material that tutors on. That is, you can give it your class material, and then it will tutor your students on just that material rather than grabbing from the entire World Wide Web. I'm going to show you two systems completely free that you can use to easily set up an AI tutor for your class that will help struggling students catch up with the rest of the class and thus advance equity and learning in your courses. So let's take a look. The first system we're going to look at is called MagicSchool. Now, MagicSchool is a wonderful suite of tools for teachers that can do a lot of different things. For instance, you can create lesson plans, you can create lesson material, you can create assessments, you can create interactions that get added to learning material, such as questions on YouTube videos. You can create rubrics, all those other things, all AI driven. But we're going to take a look at how you can use it to create a student tutor, which would be called a chatbot, actually. So the first thing you do in MagicSchool is you go over here to Magic Student and create a room. Now, a room is a bit like a class in a learning management system. It's just a place where you'll enter the tools that you want students to use. Then you'll enter the students, and it can be done by email and other ways. And then from there, students will interact via that room, give them the link to the room, and they can get in. And you can watch their interaction. You can see what each individual student does. You can get analytics on the class, and it's all within this safe room environment. So I'm going to come here to rooms, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to simply create a room. Now, I teach medical ethics, so we're going to eventually call this medical ethics. This will be the name of our room. But first, we are going to pick a tool, custom chat box, because a room needs at least one tool. Here we have fields where you enter information. The tool description is already there. You don't really have to do anything. You can pick grade level, everything from pre-K to university. So mine will stay university. And then you give the chatbot instructions. Now, it's a good idea when working with chatbots to actually give them a persona. Don't just say, do this and that. Actually describe the kind of personality that they'll have. Say friendly, encouraging, things like that. Remember, AI is starting from a blank slate, doesn't know you personally. So you want to give as much information as possible. So for my instructions, I'm going to be basic here, but you would likely want to expand this a bit. So I'm going to put in these instructions here. You are a medical ethics instructor helping students learn about the Human Genome Project based on the attached article. You ask them questions and provide hints when they get an answer wrong, allowing them to answer again until they get it right. You can also answer student questions. Now I'm going to go down to the specific knowledge for the chatbot. And here is where I'm going to add a file that will have the information they're going to tutor on. So I'm simply going to upload a file, and this will be on the Human Genome Project. I can upload multiple files. I can include links to a web. I can include links to a video, things like that. Now, there are additional fields down here. I can now create learning objectives. Students will understand A, the history of Human Genome Project, B, genetic testing, C, genetic enhancement, and D, eugenics. Students can interact by voice rather than typing if they want. So you can actually give it a voice, aria, and a female voice or other voices. We'll just leave that as is for now. Now, on the right-hand side, we're just going to run a preview. And it begins by saying, "Hello, I'm your medical ethics instructor chatbot, designed to help you learn about the Human Genome Project through interactive questions and discussion." I won't go through all this, but we'll start with question one. It says, "Let's start with the foundational question about the Human Genome Project. According to the lecture material, approximately how much did the Human Genome Project cost, and when was it projected to be completed?" So the answer is $10 billion and completed in 2005. This is actually written quite a long time ago. Excellent. You got it. That exactly right. Ba-ba-ba. Next, the Human Genome Project aimed to map human DNA. Can you explain what this mapping process involves? Specifically, what two main things did scientists need to determine about human DNA? So, might be, let's imagine I don't quite get it right. I might be something like, which people have which traits? That's getting part of it, but it's not quite the complete picture. So it says you're thinking about how we might use the map once it's created, but I'm asking about what the mapping process itself involves, what scientists need to figure out to create the map in the first place. Then it gives you a hint. So it keeps going like that. So the beauty of AI is that you don't have to program in the exact questions and you don't have to tell it the answers or how to give feedback. It'll draw that information out. It will nudge when it's incomplete, will provide hints, all those things, essentially acting like a real tutor. And it's remarkably accurate. Remember, you're defining the knowledge base, so you don't have to worry about things like hallucinations and stuff like that. You've given it the knowledge it's going to use. So once that's done, we just save it to a room. Now I need my room name, medical ethics. You can share the room in a variety of ways. You can give students a URL. You can give them a QR code. If you have Google Classroom, then they can be auto-entered, things like that. So that's the first one, Magic School. Very easy to use, very easy to set up. The second system I'm going to look at is called Brisk Teaching. Now, Brisk is different from Magic School in that Brisk is not really a website. It's a browser extension that you download and then it travels with you as you go around the web. I've done that already in the past, and here is a little button that appears on your screen when you have downloaded the free extension. And the idea is that when you get to a spot that you want to create into an activity for students, and the activity can be questions, a quiz, a variety of things, or it can be a tutor, as we're going to see. You simply click that little icon, it opens a dialog box, and you what's called boost it in their terms. Right now, you're probably wondering, what if I want to do a document? Well, to do a document, you simply have to upload it to some kind of cloud place, like Google Drive, Dropbox, any of those locations. But here I'm going to use a different source from my last source. I'm going to use the National Institutes of Health discussion of the Human Genome Project. I'm here. All I have to do is click this little button, and it's going to open up this dialog box. So there are a lot of things I can do here, and I'm not going to go through all of them. What I'm looking for is boost student activity. So we're going to click that. Now it's going to take me to this page where I can set it up. So I'm going to just enter the information, medical ethics. I can just leave it at this, create an activity about the attached page. I can add a rubric. I can add standards, grade. Let's go university here. And what's interesting is it actually works very well if you just leave it very, very open-ended like that. I'm just going to show you, but like I said, you're probably going to want to give it more specific directions. So I'm just going to go continue here. Now, it will analyze the page. And what's interesting is it will pre-fill all this information, learning objectives, explain the structure and function of the Human Genome Project, analyze how genetic variants influence health and risk, and so on. So it actually created the learning objectives for you. Now, obviously, you can delete these and edit these, but it's really remarkable how it does that. Second, AI guardrails. And here's what it says. You're an educational guide helping students explore genomics concepts, not a medical advisor or genetic counselor. Do not provide personalized genetic or health predictions, and so on and so forth. So, really kind of interesting guardrails that ensure that the system doesn't do things you don't want it to do. And then finally, under scaffolding, for students struggling with complex topics, break down explanations into smaller components and use analogies, stuff like that. Again, you can edit all this, obviously, but what's really remarkable is the way that it's very, very accurate and useful just based on how it analyzes the site. So I'm now going to click Create Activity. And what it's going to do is allow students to see the content on the left side and have a discussion on the right. So let's just say, let's go as a preview. And it begins with, hello, how can I help you with your genomics learning today? And at this point, the student may have a specific question. I don't know this. Or we could just say, help me learn about genomics. Great. Let's start with the basics question. What do you already know about the structure and function of the human genome? Human genome has 23 pairs of chromosomes. Exactly. Humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes, which carry the DNA that makes up the genome. Can you explain why chromosomes are important in organizing DNA? Uh, I don't know. I might say they tell DNA, DNA what to do, which, isn't quite correct. You're on the right track. Chromosomes help organize DNA so it fits inside cells and can be copied correctly. What do you think is the role of genes in this process? And it keeps going. Now, again, if I'm not happy with how it contoured the conversation, I can give it more exact information about what to do. When I'm done, I transfer the information about how to log in via, again, link or some other system to my students. I can view the progress of my class. I can tell which students are struggling, which are doing well. I can take a look at the entire conversation. And like Magic School, by the way, students cannot see each other's work. They can't see each other's conversation. And I do want to bring that up because you can create custom chats using general AI systems like ChatGPT, Google Gemini. However, with both systems, there's a problem giving the chats to students without students seeing each other's work, at least in the free version. That can't be done. I've limited myself to two systems that allow you to, for without cost, give students an AI tutoring experience, a chat, which they will not see each other's work. However, you will see it, so it's private. And you can monitor how students actually do, which is also something the general AI systems can't do. And if you're interested in knowing more, take a look at my information in the description. I provide custom workshops and tutoring for faculty in how to use technology in education, in particular AI. Thanks.